Howdy guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Makayla and we have a fun reading challenge for the video today. We are going to be reading Stephen King for the first time. He's an author that I've wanted to pick up forever, but I've just been very scared and daunted by his work. He's very famous, very well known. He also has a lot of books. That man did some work. I decided I wanted to finally read some of his books, and it's the perfect time. It's fall, spooky season, and I feel like a lot of his books fit those vibes, and especially the ones that I chose. So going in, I kind of wanted to do three different things. So I wanted to do one of his most famous books, one book that like I knew, and then one book that I've been seeing a lot recently that a lot of people have read and liked. So going into the three books that I chose, the first one is The Shining, which is arguably one of his most famous works. After I read the book, I do want to watch the movie and just compare and contrast the two. But I'm really excited because, like I said, this is one of his most famous works, and I've heard great things about it. The next book is The Mist, which this also got turned into a movie, and I actually have seen the movie for this, and that was one of the reasons I picked it up, because I was kind of aware of the storyline before like reading the back and going into it, and it's also on the shorter side. The other two books are a little bit on the longer side for the video, so I wanted a shorter story to break up those super long ones. So yeah, I'm really excited. I don't really remember much details from the movie. I remember the overall plot of it, so I will probably rewatch the movie after I read the book. So I have two books in this video where there are movie adaptations, and that I will probably watch after reading, which is super exciting. The final book for this challenge, I have been seeing a lot on Book Talk and BookTube with people that I follow, and they are recommending it. A lot of people really liked it, and that is 11/22/63. This is a very hefty book. It is over 800 pages. I have already started it, but I'll kind of go back in time when I did officially like start this. But it sounds super interesting, the premise. I'm really excited for it. But like I said, I will probably be splitting this half between like audiobook and physical reading just because of how big it is, and just saying like being in the middle of semester, I don't have as much time to dedicate to reading a physical book. So this would quite literally take me so long if I was just reading a physical book. So those are the three books that we will be reading in this video. I'm really excited because, like I said, he's a very well-loved author, and I love like horror, thriller, mystery, that whole genre, and he's kind of like the king of that genre. So I am really excited to read his works, and if you have any other recommendations for Stephen King books that you enjoyed and you would recommend me to read, comment them down below, because I really do want to read more of his works, and I'm really excited to do something that scares me, because this is scary, it's daunting, but I'm really excited to finally tackle it, and I'm excited to take you along with it. So let's officially start our Stephen King reading challenge. Okay, so a little update on my reading so far. I have started the audiobook of 11/22/63. I listened to it while I was walking my dog, as well as while I was getting ready this morning, and it's pretty interesting so far. I got to chapter 3, which is page 53. It's a very long audiobook. Obviously, it's a very long book in general, but one thing I have noticed is the chapters in and of themselves are really long. Like I said, I'm on chapter 3 and it's already page 53, so they are a little bit on the longer side. However, there are like sub-chapters within a chapter. Like for example, it has like 1, 2, so there are like kind of sub-chapters within a chapter. It's still the very intro of the book. We're setting the scene of like what we are, introducing all the characters, everything. But I am super excited to keep reading. You can just tell the writing style. Stephen King knows what he's doing, and it's really good so far. I like it, and I can't wait to actually read the physical book, because I have strictly listened to it on audiobook so far. But like I kind of mentioned before, I'm going to be switching back and forth a lot, but I'm enjoying it thus far, and I'm super excited. So this is a little update on the book so far. This is probably a terrible angle, but I thought I'd check back in and give a little update on 11/22/63. So I am 317 pages in. I'm on chapter 13, and overall I'm really liking it. The story is really picking up, and I really like the idea that they talk about the butterfly effect, where like if you change something in the past, what will it do to the future type thing. And it's just really interesting. I love that aspect. And yeah, Stephen King's writing is really good, very descriptive, such a fun and immersive story, and I'm really excited to keep reading. I've listened to majority of it on audiobook, and I will say, like, reading the physical book, it is such a hefty book, but I am enjoying it, and I am excited to keep listening to it, keep reading it. So yeah, I am enjoying it so far. I'm about to be doing some traveling within the next few days / week, and I'm hoping to be able to read a little bit more because I haven't been able to read the physical book as much as I would like to. I've listened to the majority of it on audiobook, which, no complaints, the audiobook is really good. I love the narrator. I'm interested to see where the story goes because I feel like we're approaching some of the big plot points. So I'm really curious to see like what the rest is. And I just like time travel. I haven't really read many like time travel books, but I am really enjoying this one so far. And I really, like I said, I like the idea of like the butterfly effect and everything like that. And I like them talking about like US history throughout it because it's obviously like stuff that I've learned about all throughout school. So it is really interesting. I'm liking Stephen King's writing so far, and I will keep you updated on how this book is going. Okay, so I have been listening to the audiobook. I made it to chapter 17, which is 431 pages in. I am pretty much halfway. When I put it in my Goodreads, it was like 49%. So we are going to continue reading for a little bit. I officially finished 11/22/63 by Stephen King. This was my first ever Stephen King book, and I really liked it. Obviously, I literally just finished it, so my thoughts are still really fresh. But overall, I did split most of it listening to the audiobook as well as reading the physical book, and I think that did help. I will say I feel like the book could have been a little bit shorter. It is a very, very long book, over 800 pages. And there are parts that I feel like could have been left out, but also I enjoyed really getting to know the story. I mean, a big part of it was about the character, like, living his life in the past and making this new life for himself and trying to change what happened in the past and everything. And I really did enjoy, like, getting to learn about his life and, like, what he was doing in the past. And it really just felt like a good story to follow. And I did really enjoy just the aspects of it made you think about, like, if this one thing in the past didn't happen, what would the future look like, and what would be different if something didn't happen. And I think it's a fun idea to explore. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I think it was a great ending. I did enjoy it. I'm interested to see when I read some of his other books, like some of his older books specifically, what I think, because I believe this is a little bit of a newer one. Don't quote me on that. I have no idea when this was released, actually. Let's just look. Okay, yeah, copyright 2012. So this is one of his newer novels. So I'm curious to see, like, some of his other books, maybe that are more, like, in the horror genre. I wouldn't specify this as a horror novel, not at all. It's more of, I would say, just like a general fiction novel, but nevertheless, I did enjoy it. It is a commitment, obviously, to read it, but if you have the possibility to listen to the audiobook as well as read it, I would recommend it. I think it was a great story, and overall, I enjoyed it. I don't know what I'm going to rate it. Yeah, I think I need to sit on the book for a little bit before I do an actual rating, so maybe I'll rate all of the books at the end of the video, because I don't know what I want to rate this yet. I definitely need to just, like, sit with the ending longer. But overall, I did enjoy my time, and I'm excited to move on to some other books. This one was very long, and I'm glad I got the longest one out of the way, because it's all downhill from here. Now I just have The Shining and The Mist to read, which is super exciting, and we will move on. I am back. I am reading my second ever Stephen King book. I started it earlier this morning, and that is The Mist Like I said, I have watched the movie to this before, so I know the general storyline, but I don't remember if I talked about the storylines at the beginning of the video. So if I have not, we're going to go over it now. So the Mist were set in Maine, and all of a sudden this random impenetrable mist like descends from a military facility, and it starts like engulfing everything around it, and a father and his son get stuck in a local like grocery store because they were like getting emergency supplies after like a storm hit. So they're stuck in this grocery store with like a ragtag volunteer of survivors, and the mist is like surrounding them. They can't like go outside, so it's them figuring out what's going on, trying to survive, as well as like there's the threat outside, as well as there might be threats inside. That's kind of the basic storyline of it. It is really short, so it's a quicker story, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm about 50 pages in, and I will keep you updated on my full thoughts on this. I am actually including this book in another video that I'm filming. It'll probably be out by now. It definitely will be. And that is like a reading scary books video, so this will be included in that, but I am going to do my more full review and wrap up here in this video, just because this one's more specific to like Stephen King in general. So that is where we're at, and I will keep you updated on reading this. I have an update. I've officially began reading The Shining by Stephen King. I'm really excited. This is one of his most famous books, arguably, and I'm really excited. I am only like 50-ish pages in. I found the audiobook as well, so I'm going to do the same thing of kind of splitting the audiobook and reading it physically, because this copy is like 650-ish pages. So I'm hoping to get through this within a few days. I'm really excited. I actually visited the hotel in Colorado, Estes Park, that the movie was filmed at. So I'll insert some photos here from when I went on vacation there. So it's really cool. It's still just kind of in the preliminary setup of the story, but I'm so excited to get into this, and I will obviously keep you updated as we keep reading. And yeah, this is the last book for the video. So we are flying through, and I definitely can already tell I want to read more Stephen King. But that's besides the point. We'll talk about more as I get further into the book. So let's just keep going. I am back with a little reading update. I haven't been updating very much, but I have mainly been listening to The Shining on audiobook, as well as reading it physically when I have the time. And one thing I've noticed, I really do like Stephen King's writing in audiobook form. I think just his writing style really lends well to listening to it in audiobook. Like, for example, in this book, there's a lot of voices inside of people's heads, and when you're reading it, you just see the text written in a different font, and that signifies a different voice, whereas on the audiobook you actually get a different voice for it. So I think that does help in this book, and I have really enjoyed it. It is spooky and ominous, and it's really funny because, like I mentioned at the beginning, I actually did go and visit the Overlook Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, so I actually know like some of the rooms, like the Colorado Ballroom and like things like that they're talking about in the book, that I actually did visit in person. So that's kind of cool. It has been spooky, and I'm really enjoying it. I definitely want to watch the movie after finishing this to just compare and contrast to see what made the movie or not. But that is my update. I am hoping to finish it within the next few days. I think I only have like 150 pages left. So we're gonna try and grind it out. We are getting through it, and I have finally finished reading The Shining, which officially brings us to the end of my Stephen King reading marathon. This was really a fun video because it pushed me out of my comfort zone to read an author that I've been very daunted by, but really wanted to give a try. So, little overall review of this. We're going to go from the beginning. So the first book I read was 11/22/63. This is obviously a very hefty book. I did read most of it listening to the audiobook, but I did read some of the physical book as well. And honestly, I really loved this book. It is just such an interesting premise of time travel and what you would do to change the past. And I really loved it. I loved the description of just the story building. I absolutely really liked it, and I think that's just a testament to Stephen King's writing style, because throughout his other books I also saw very similar world building, and I did enjoy that. And yeah, I think this one, even though it is really big and daunting, I would highly recommend this to anyone. Originally, I didn't really know what to rate it, but ever since I finished it, I have not stopped thinking about it. So I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I think the only reason I'm not giving it 5 stars is it was just really, really, really long. I felt like maybe it could have been a little bit shorter, so that's dropping it that half star. But I have continuously gone back and thought about this book after I finished it, and I really, really liked it. I have The Mist by Stephen King. This was just short and sweet. I remembered a lot from the movie version of it that I had already watched previous to reading it, and I think it's a great little taste if you want to get a sense of Stephen King's writing style, but you don't want to commit to a super long book. I think this is a really great option for you, as well as it is a movie adaptation, so you can go and watch that afterwards. And this one I ended up giving 4 stars, just because it was really short and sweet. I did enjoy it, and I liked it. So I think this is a great one if you want to get a taste of his writing style. And the last one on this list is The Shining by Stephen King. This is arguably one of his most famous books, and it took me a little bit to read it just because I've been really, really busy recently, but I did start picking up the audiobook for it, and it really helps me get through this. And I think I've realized that I really, really like listening to Stephen King's writing in audiobook form. I think just the way he tells stories and his descriptions work really well in audiobook form. I kind of mentioned that earlier in the video, but I really, really enjoyed it, especially The Shining. One of the main things, like, there's a lot of voices inside of characters' heads, and the audiobook really just heightened that. The Shining was everything I was wanting it to be. It was just nice, spooky, and ominous, and kept me on the edge of my seat throughout most of it, and I really did like it. I think overall I might give it, I'm stuck between giving it 4 and 4.5 stars, because I don't know if I absolutely loved it as much as I loved 11/22/63, but I did really enjoy it. So I think I'm going to go with 4 stars. That is my final, putting my foot down. We're giving The Shining 4 stars. It is one of his older works, so it's not as updated as 11/22/63, but I still did enjoy it. It is kind of a classic piece written by Stephen King. And yeah, so those were the 3 books that I read for this video. I think overall I have decided that I do want to keep reading Stephen King, and I think I'm just going to slowly sprinkle his books here and there into my reading because I really did enjoy it. But yeah, I would highly recommend giving him a try. He's very famous for good reason. He's written over 60 books, which is absolutely insane. So there might be a little something for everybody. Each of his books are a little bit different. He doesn't just write in the horror genre. He kind of jumps around. So I think there's a little bit of something for everybody in Stephen King's writing. So I think everyone should at least give him a try and see if you mesh well with his writing style, because I ended up really loving his writing style, and I'm super excited to have unlocked another repertoire of authors' books to jump into. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below if you've read any Stephen King and what other books of his that you would recommend me trying out next. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!